All right, welcome everybody to the SpeedGaming Live 2022 Randomizer Tournament for Mario 3. I'm the Haxer, and I will be doing your commentary today on this first round matchup, round of 16 here. So, well, I guess technically there was an earlier round to get the 16, but anyway, I think it was just one set of folks. But yeah, we've got DLP316 on the left side, and then Wedu on the right side. So DLP is a veteran of the scene, been participating in pretty much all the randomizer tournaments for the past few years. And then I believe Wedu said this is the first time he is actually racing someone head to head. So going to be very interesting here. I believe he is a Finnish runner that is new to randomizers. So drawing a tough opponent right away. DLP is definitely a very strong opponent in the scene. So will be a good first measuring stick for our new runner here. So but yeah, both runners should be starting shortly. Do apologize for the late start, everybody. We had a few technical difficulties, but we're here now, and that's what's important. So, get your popcorn ready, as they would say. Get your drinks ready. Should be a fun one regardless. And the very least, we're going to see, I'm sure, some very, very fun and exciting randomizer things that we will get to talk about throughout the course of the match. Just give you an overview of the seed type here. Hammers do break locks. There will be no end spade card game. So that's the card game that spawns in the overworld and gives items. That will not be occurring in the seed type. But the locks that occur throughout the worlds can be broken by hammers. So those can come into play pretty significantly, especially if you're able to draw when your opponent isn't able to. So I'd imagine we're going to see a lot of hammer bros being fought as a result. With that being said, get your guesses in for what the first world's going to be. We've got a couple seconds here, I think, before they get started. So. Five, three. I'm going to go with... Let's go with one. It's going to be one. I can't be wrong. I'm never wrong. Not that. But yeah, anyway, hope everybody's day is going well. Hope you are ready for some randomizer action. This tournament's pretty fast and furious. We're going to be seeing a lot of matches over the next few days, so hope you all look forward to that. And this is just the first of many to come. All right, so getting started here, World 6. Very interesting world to start the action off with, and we get 4 F2 here, so both runners going to get a free opportunity at a power-up here. We do using the dry bones there to catch back up, and getting wrecked by the Boo. Also the Boo giving DLP, or the Boo in the top level giving DLP a little bit of trouble there, just getting in his way. And DLP going to take the lead here by a little bit, just by nature of the more aggressive Boom Boom kill there. And the Hammer Bro not moving across the level for both, and they both go right to the auto scroller and going to take the intentional death here. They're definitely going to want to check out the other level, see what it is. So, and yes, this is a much faster level to draw. This is going to be one of the fastest levels in Randomizer. Both stopping here for the power-up and losing P-speed, and definitely not the power-up they were hoping to see. I think all things... oh man, that was scary. You could see his reaction there too. He was a little perturbed, but makes it out on DLP's side unscathed, and Wedu following suit very quickly. Hammer Bro here trolling DLP a little bit, making him do some extra map movements, run around the map to catch him. Having a little trouble killing that boomerang, bro. Wedu choosing to hit the mushroom house, picking up a frog suit. So he's going to be equipping that, I'm sure, prior to fighting this Hammer Bro that's coming up. And sure enough, there it is. Meanwhile, we have 6-4 in the vanilla spot, although these are definitely not vanilla enemies, but a nice little Fred there to start the match off. Meanwhile, Wedu, getting the treatment by the Hammer Bros here, getting stun locked by the Sledge Bro, but much easier fight there on that tile. It is worth mentioning that the Hammer Bro fights do change based on the tile you fight them on, so definitely an advantage drawing them on certain tiles versus others. So it's these small things that can make a lot of difference in these races. And as you can see on DLP's side, choosing to equip a star there, and really good choice there, because that would have been a really tough fight for him considering it was a water battle. So also going to equip the star before this one. Would have been an easier battle, but you know, it's still done for safety. You don't really know what you're going to get, and taking deaths really slow. Meanwhile, Wedu having some trouble here in 6-4. Got to be careful of a game over. Thankfully, he's only played the one stage, so it's not a big deal if it does happen, but definitely giving him some trouble here. Meanwhile, for DLP, the pipe there is a troll pipe, so the pipes here in World 6 are not going to be very useful for them. They're going to have to pretty much play the entirety of the world, and oh no! Wedu making the mistake there of going under without P-speed, and that spinner there it likes to just slap you down like that for whatever reason. You really want to go up above there to prevent that from happening. So taking the game over there, but fortunately for him, this is again, you know, a pretty simple stage, so, and pretty quick, so he's not going to lose too much time there. Meanwhile, DLP making his way through 3-8, has a tail, flying over things. It's a pretty simple stage, even in Randomizer. You can pretty much just play it the way you normally do. You can get some trolly enemies in certain spots, but for the most part, it's a pretty straightforward stage. So looks like this fort is required. It will break the lock here. So DLP choosing to damage boost with the tail there so he can build the P-speed. And he's going to get trolled by the Rocky Wrenches, so he's not going to get it anyway. So I'm sure he's going to be happy about that. He does get it right before the end, so pretty big there for that to happen. So Wedu equipping the star to safely make it past the beginning part of 6-4 there. All those enemies in that section just make it lag so much. So let's see if he goes up over. Oh no! Get the spinner, man. Yeah, it's one of those things. You just you know, as you play the game more and more, it's one of those things you learn in this level. You just cannot trust that spinner. So meanwhile, DLP making quick work of the airship, and it's a 2-hit Lemmy, and grabbing the wand there about 5:15. So not a very quick world here to start. What you generally expect to see in this seed type is, you know, you see a fair amount of quick seeds just because hammers breaking locks can make the worlds much, much shorter. You can have pretty much free worlds as a result. So looks like we have a bit of a freeze on DLP's side. Hopefully that gets figured out. Meanwhile, Wedu taking on the Sledge Bros here, and oh, here we go. All right, we're back. Looks like we entered 2 fort here on DLP's side. So getting the troll dry bones there, gonna pick up the power up. It is a tail. If he chooses, he could use this to damage boost here, and he is gonna do so. As you can see, he can then one cycle this room, keep this P-speed all the way through, And, you know, you just got the normal boom boom at the end. Wedu checking the pipes there, making sure, you know, there isn't a shortcut that allows him to skip those 2 stages. Getting the bad news, of course, that it leads to the pipe that's completely useless in this instance. And meanwhile, making his way through 2-4, and as I speak, the Sledge Bro, you know, making his presence known there. Smacking him with the hammer. So, he's still got a couple lives. So he's not at threat of game over currently. Equipping the frog suit and the star here. Try to make some safe passage. Gonna take some damage there. It's okay. There'll be another power-up block here right afterwards. Gonna pick that up and take some more damage by the Fire Bro. And the end can be a little tricky without a power-up. And yeah, surprise Fire Bro. So having a little bit of trouble to start here. Meanwhile, ooh, a good stage here. Oh, he just didn't full jump there. He actually did the block rub too, so he could have had a good sub-pixel there on DLP side. Could have gone for the big Mario wall jump, the Chad wall jump. But unfortunately, he didn't full jump there. He let go of it early. I don't know if that's just a good cue for him, but I don't know if that will affect that wall jump or not as Big Mario. I haven't tested it that way, but I would assume that it probably will, but I don't know. Anyway. But at any rate, 6-9 is a pretty quick level as long as you know the solution. Just gotta know which pipe is the pipe. And gonna do a pipe check here. See where this takes him. And gonna take him to Hammer Bro, which he's gonna decide to fight here. The fights have been kind of stingy with power-ups. Nope. Yeah, they've given all stars, so really unfortunate. It looks like Wedu actually picking up 3 stars to get the extra lives there, which is a really good choice. So he's got a pretty good stockpile. Going into the Navy here, Small Mario, but honestly, this is not such a... okay, as I speak. Made it a little more dangerous there, trying to stomp the cannonball. A little scared of the cannonballs here, but normally not too dangerous of a stage. Oh my goodness. Jumping into the bomb explosion there, almost giving me a heart attack. Ooh, some nifty duck stomping there by DLP. So yeah, because that coin blocks in the far left block on the lower row, that always means that tile will have 2 power-ups in the bro fight. So smartly checking the upper right for the second power-up there. And we get 7-3 here, which is a star run. So he could have chosen to continue to grab the stars. There really wasn't much point though after the first one for him. So just going to kind of P-speed to the end here. Try not to take damage. Hold on to this power-up. Power management can be pretty important in Randomizer, just saving time. It's less time you're digging into your inventory. And it looks like the solution in this world is that level behind a bunch of levels. So starting off the seed here with some pretty long worlds, which again, I wouldn't say it's necessarily unusual. I would say it's uncommon on the seed type to have a start like this. So yeah, Wedu starting World 3 here, so he's gotta make some moves here in World 3, equipping the star in 2-4, which is going to be a really good item here, going to allow him to P-speed through this first room. Unfortunate part, I think DLP got thrown off by some of the iframes there from the damage boosting. Had the P-speed going there in 4-3, which really does make this level much faster. But meanwhile, we've got the elevator room for Wedu and doing the normal 2 cycle there on his way to the Boom Boom. But yeah, as I was mentioning about the stars, is when you're Big Mario, you actually can't enter the pipes without P-speed because you do this weird like flipping animation. and it doesn't allow you to actually enter the pipes. But if you have P speed, you don't do the flipping animation, so you are able to actually enter them. So when he lost the P speed there and didn't enter it on the first attempt, unfortunately, he was kind of stuck in that room until that star ran out. Meanwhile, make his way through 3-5 here while DLP enters the airship, and we get World 5 airship. So always that block being a troll, giving a star. Meanwhile, oh man, Wedu dying to the Cheep Cheep on the other side there. That's unfortunate. Could go for a wall jump here, does try it. So heads up play there, at least going for the attempt. Could get a nice little skip there, but does pick up the mushroom. So he's at least got a power up. And as I saw, Wendy was one hit, so very kind Wendy and Lemmy here. Definitely the worst two Koopalings in my opinion to battle. So getting the one hit Wendy and then the two hit Lemmy, a very fortunate start in terms of that for these two guys, I think. But yeah, really slow world there. That was like around 12 minutes on the wand grab. So you know, this one was even longer than World 6 because they had to play the entire thing. So going into this level small, DLP choosing to equip the star because he doesn't really know what he's getting here, and I think he was really hoping to keep that power up. So he kind of continues his journey as small Luigi here, I guess, technically. And Wedu getting the wall jump. Let's go. I think that was third try. Getting the triple star again. He's got a stockpile of lives. Very clean coming out. So one of the advantages of going in there as small Mario is it's much easier to get the wall jump on your retry attempts compared to Big Mario. He did consider using the hammer there. The reason he didn't is he has to play a fort if he hammers that rock. So, yeah, he figured I only have to play the one stage and then I play the fort, and the hammer really only allows you to skip one stage, and he's only got the one hammer. So he's kind of thinking that it'll allow him to skip more later on. So at the very least, once he plays this stage, it's either going to break the lock in front of that other fort, or if it breaks the other lock, he could then choose to hammer it and skip. That should allow him to skip 2 stages or 1. I'm trying to think here. I gotta take a look at the overworld map again, but he should be able to skip some stages here. Yeah, it's 1 stage. Oh man, this is a tough decision. Okay. Playing the hammer bro, probably hoping he's gonna get another hammer, but gets a cloud, which is pretty good. Wedu also fighting some fire bros on his side and picking up a hammer, which is really good. Again, you know, since, oh man, DLP drawing 7-6 as small Mario, so he's probably going to take an intentional death here. He'll hit the mushroom house, hope to get a power up here that'll allow him to clip that stage. So kind of getting trolled here at the end of World 2, which is, you know, what Wedu really needs. And you can tell by his reaction, he is not happy to have to clip this stage with a tail. So unhappy, in fact, he's just going to cloud it. And you know what? I don't really blame him. I think that was a good choice. So, and a really good choice to equip that power up there, because that bro fight would have been a disaster had he gone into small Mario. So, he's probably really thinking, man, I could have just hammered that rock, you know? Like, he's like, I could have, or sorry, the lock. But, you know, I think it's the right choice to save the hammer here. Just because he doesn't have any other ones, so... oh, and Wedu, oh no, getting trolled by the wood block in 1-4 there. So, a little bit of a route divergence here. DLP ended up taking that one pipe, whereas Wedu is not taking the pipe. It's the same number of stages, but obviously... And wow, nice P-speed keep here through 3-9. So getting the H-jump there, which is not easy to do in Randomizer. And now he's going to get trolled by the Micro Goombas for his efforts, and he just wants to get out of there. Meanwhile, we've got the World 2 airship at the end of World 2 here. Kind of cringe, bro. Kind of cringe. But I guess we'll allow it. And Morton is a 2-hitter, so we've got a 2-hitter, a 1-hitter, a 2-hitter. The Koopalings are really soft in this seed. I don't know what they've been doing. Clearly not working out. Not getting their time in the gym in, you know what I mean? Clearly that man has been eating way too many Twinkies. That's why he's so heavy. But has no stamina, you know? You need those. You need to prepare for that 5-round fight, right? So, but anyway, DLP finishing up the world there again. Pretty slow seed so far. 3 worlds down in roughly 17 minutes is again really uncommon for this seed type. So we could be in for a long one here. With that being said, we have played some of the longer worlds that are possible. This world can sometimes be pretty long as well. But I think really the only really long world we have left potentially is World 7. That's commonly really long. So we do equipping the P-Wing here for the World 5 airship. And we'll have the opportunity to go for an off-screen wand grab while DLP enters the sand stage, normally found in World 2, with the generic sun enemy here. Unfortunately, Wedu taking some damage there, unable to go for the off-screen wand grab, the traditional P-Wing way, but did go for the jump there. I respect it. And we're going to check this pipe out. It has to lead us to the sky, and it is a paradox pipe as well. And the other fort is useless, so yeah, kind of a nice layout for the top. So we kind of have a faster world here, kind of a faster world. I mean, we still have to play a fair amount of stages. But as I say that, of course, we draw 6-6, and this is, you know, I'm sure DLP was really happy to see this stage. That's all I'll say. Oh, no! The lag! He got trapped in by the lag there. You could tell he just wasn't expecting it. Oh, man. Meanwhile, Wedu making his way through 2-5 there. Doing the best he can to catch up here. Going to be able to use the pipe to skip this next stage. So, yeah, really good map awareness there. You don't want to be playing these extra levels, right? Considering using the hammer here. Considering using it. But if he were to use it, it would have actually been a waste of the hammer. So, it doesn't actually allow him to skip anything. And DLP dying at the end of 6-6. Kind of a disaster for him. Yeah, I'm thinking he was going to cloud there, and then he's going to star, and this should be okay. Oh man, what a terrible enemy set for this, but he's going to get a double helping of power-ups here because he needs it in order to beat the stage anyway. But so, you know, he's not really at risk of death at this point, but with the enemy set, if he gets some really bad enemies at the end of this, it can get a little tricky. So, and thankfully that wasn't a fire nipper, so no fire nippers there. Do we have any fire nippers here? Nothing. Okay, so could have been a lot worse for him there. So not too bad of a stage, but again, the world here taking another 5 minutes, so we're only halfway through the seed, and we're already over 20 minutes. So not what you usually see again for the seed type. So you're really getting your money's worth in terms of length on this one. Kind of a tricky seed so far, I would say, just because you've had to play a lot of stages. There've been a couple kind of bad ones too. 7-6. You know, if you don't have a power-up is obviously really bad. And then 6-6 is one of the worst stages in Randomizer to draw, I would say. Again, stun locked here. He's going for the off-screen. Can he time it? Oh, and he gets it! Let's go! So, grabbing the wand off screen like he did there will save him 4 seconds because you're going to see him skip this falling cutscene here. And 3, 2, 1. There we go. So very cool time save there. Meanwhile, Wedu having some trouble clipping with the tail. He's jumping late here. He's got to jump earlier. There we go. That was a good attempt. There we go. These are some good attempts. Oh, a little early. There we go. I was getting the attempts going. But it's just tougher with the tail. There's nothing you can really do about this. And yeah, DLP's not going to mess around with the forts. Just going to hammer that lock. Really effective use of the hammer there. You don't know which fort it is. It could have been the first one he chose, but it could have been the second one. So at minimum, he skips 1 level, and it could have been 2. So most people are probably going to use a hammer in this situation if they have one. So ended up being a pretty effective usage of it, I would say, compared to using it in World 2. Picking up the star here, gonna star through that flamethrower. Gonna try to get P-speed through this airship here. Meanwhile, Wedu making his way through the end of 5F2. Slowed down a little bit in 5F2, which made it a little scarier, but still navigated it pretty well. It's one of those levels you want to keep moving forward. It allows you to skip a lot of the bad enemies, or not the bad enemies, the bad potaboos that'll spawn. I guess technically they're an enemy, but they're not really an enemy, if that makes sense. I don't know. I wouldn't consider them like I don't know. I wouldn't give them human characteristics. I feel like they're more environmental than like an enemy, but anyway. And yeah, the World 7 letter there, we don't get to peek what the item is, unfortunately. That's the only letter where you don't get to see, so just want to skip that one as fast as possible. You can see DLP pausing there, getting a look at the overworld before making a decision. It's that slight pause. Really good decision to do that. You really want to know what you're getting into before you start doing it. So sees the fort there, know he needs the fort to build the bridge. Going straight to the fort. We get 6F2, gets the leaf in the spot he wants it, and this is going to allow him to go through the stage really quickly here. Checks that block for, I'm assuming he wanted that item. I don't know. Maybe not, but I would assume he wanted that. Not sure why else he would have checked it there. And oh, Wedu! Man, he recognized too late what stage he was in, and that bass was coming, and he got lunch. So, 1 feeding of the bass so far. Gonna use the star here, and oh no, I'm not sure he's actually played this stage before, because yeah, he's got to go back to the beginning and go down. So, oh man, he's trying to get in that 1 tile. Those 1 tiles are really hard to squeeze into. So, really unfortunate there. Yeah, he doesn't know what he's getting into at that level, so he just clouded it. You have to go down the pipes. That's one of the beta stages. So, you know, he's played the vanilla game. If you haven't played a lot of Randomizer, haven't seen that level, yeah, that's going to be confusing, obviously. But yeah, you got to go down in the pipes, because the pipe that leads to the end's in the bottom there. And it seemed like Iggy was, you know, a wimp again. I don't know how many hits that was, but it couldn't have been more than 1 or 2. So another wimp we got going there. Gonna have to play at least 1 fortress here. We haven't seen 1 fort, so this is likely the fort that he needs to build the bridge to make it to the end of the world. The other fort is almost certainly 1 fort. It's not necessarily, but whenever you have the multiple fort World 1, the second fort seems to almost always be 1 fort. So I'm going to bet here, since we haven't seen it, and we're in World 1 with multiple forts, that this is going to be the one that builds the bridge that he needs. And meanwhile, Wedu going in 6-6 as well. And hey, look at that. It's like I played this game before. Yeah, doing some good navigation here. Using the statue to pretty good effect there. Allowed him to sink faster in the water. Did take some damage there, which is unfortunate. Probably going to duck on that pipe. Make his way through to the end here. Oh no, just run. Just run. Oh god. Okay, he's good. All right, not making the mistake that DLP did. Almost made the same mistake there. When you go too fast at the end, well, if you go fast enough, you skip that cheap, but if you slow down at all, he ends up getting to you. Meanwhile, DLP is in... Oh, okay. He's good. He didn't get the double fire. Oh my god. Okay, I just saw spike balls everywhere on Wedu's side, so that beginning is a little trolly at 6-5 here. Again, on DLP side, if he's going into this as small Mario, equipping the star, which I think is a good play, probably will equip a power-up here before the... Yeah, absolutely. Gonna equip the P-Wing here, gonna go for an opportunity at an off-screen wand grab. This should also save a little bit of time on this stage. Just, you don't have to go back and forth to get the P-speed at the beginning, so... yeah, he's going to try to hold on to this and not take damage. And we've got a 4-hitter here at minimum, so 5-hitter, because you equip the P-Wing, of course. Can he get the second off-screen? Just missed it. Just mistimed it slightly. Uh-oh. Wedu was paused there for a second. I'm not sure what was going on. Maybe some IRL aggro there. IRL aggro, enemy aggro. Trying to use some P-speed there. I haven't really seen what he was doing there be done, so not sure if there's a better P-speed strat that I haven't seen there. So, be interesting to see. Anyway. DLP starting off in World 8 gets 2 levels on the first screen, so doesn't have a cloud. Normally you would just cloud this, but if you could. And is another one of our beta stages here. It's you know, you go right to start and then left in the bottom section of it. It's one of the worst ones, I would say. As you can see, just getting those, oh man, just 3 bloopers on this one. Not the I guess not the nicest of stages there. And moving on here to the carpet fort, 6F3. Picking up a fire flower, which at this point he'll probably try to keep. I think he does have another one in his inventory, but obviously, you know, he wants to keep this for as many of these, especially fortress levels, as he can. Wedu doing the same thing here, using his hammer. It's a good hammer opportunity. Also, smartly equipping the star here, making this level a lot easier. Yeah, if you have a star and you have to play this plant level, it's a really good place to use that star because you always get that specific plant level there. Because moving it makes it so the game doesn't work. So, unfortunately, DLP here drawing not the real tank, so he's going to take an intentional death in this one. Was hoping that that was a real tank. Now he's going to do some reconnaissance here. Just check out these pipes, see where they lead to. So that leads to the valley that we need to go to. So what I see here is I see a tank behind a lock. And that's not a great sign. It's looking a lot like you probably need to play it. But we'll see here. We'll know for sure. There should be a lock on this screen. No, wait, no, there's 2 locks on the bridge. Never mind. So, yeah, this is unfortunate because he's going to have to cross the hand stage to get back to the... I think he should probably just play both of the fortresses, maybe. Yeah. Yeah, I think... Oh, there it is. Another hand stage in the corner. And not a great one to get either. It takes a while to take a death in this one, so probably not going to be pleased but to draw this, but probably happy he doesn't have to play it. It's not a fun stage. Yeah, this is why I figured he would do... Okay, he's going to check the pipe. And yeah, oh man, interesting. Oh my, he's not happy. So the reason he's not happy here is he actually has to grab 2 power-ups because you can only beat this stage by flying. And this takes so much more time than just having a leaf of some sort going into the stage. This is about a minute slower than if he had a leaf coming into the stage. That's a little over a minute, I think, but yeah. You can think about being Big Mario also saves about another 30 seconds, and then having the leaf skips this part where you're waiting, you gotta grab this, you gotta go back up the pipe. So it's that's why he was upset there. That's a pretty big time swing. Meanwhile, Wedu gonna make his way to the airship here, equipping his 1 power-up that he has. And getting the World 6 airship here, going for the clip, not getting it. All right. Let's see here. So he ended up playing the right stage there. He's just got to remember which pipe it is, and he does remember it is that last pipe there on the hand bridge, the one before the lock. Does skip the hand stage, so he's going to be pretty happy with that. Equipping the fire flower, and we're probably about a minute here away from victory in race 1. Waiting here on the stairs, don't really know what's going on there. And going for the clip here, gets its 2nd try. So GG's coming out soon for DLP, finishing up this race 1 here. And 35 fireballs, and Bowser's down. Get your G's out for DLP316. Working on getting the next seed ready. I apologize, everybody. And DLP finishing with an official time of 34:59. And Wedu has chosen to forfeit this one, just as an FYI. So I will be working on getting the 2nd race set up. All right, y'all. Welcome back. I am play-by-play Haxer, going to send it over to Analyst Haxer to tell us, what needs to happen in Game 2 here. Hello, this is Analyst Haxer. So yeah, Interesting game one there. Definitely was not the easiest of seeds. Unfortunately for Wedu, getting off to the slow start there really hurt him. That game over in the first world, and then once he was able to get there in the second attempt, also struggled there for a bit. So I'm going to have to limit the mistakes here coming in the game too. Going to be really important for him. And on DLP side, I think he's probably not super happy with how things went in that first race. So be interested to see how things go here in the second race for him. You know, I know he holds himself to really high standards, so I'm pretty sure, yeah, he's probably going to be a little frustrated with how he played, but for the most part, I think he played pretty well. And, you know, it's going to be tough, you know, for him to, or it's going to be tough for Wedu to catch him, you know, if he continues to play like that. So, you know, for Wedu, he's got to limit those mistakes and hope DLP makes a few more of them. And with that being said, I'm going to send it back over to my friend Play-by-Play Haxer, because we should have the race starting here again in about, you know, 45 seconds or so. Yo, Haxer, thank you for that analysis. I do appreciate you joining me here in the commentary booth, you know, providing that analysis between the races. It is much appreciated. So I definitely agree here with what you've said. And we'll see what the second race has in store for us here, as we can see both loading the seeds up here. So get your guesses in, folks, in terms of what you think the first world's going to be quickly before this one starts. And, you know, get your Boss Bass pom-poms on if you're into that sort of thing. I'm gonna go with 1 again. Just be very boring, vanilla. We're going with the original, the OG. We've got 7. We've got 4. I've got 1, and we're gonna figure out here. And it's 5. So we all lose. Welcome to the loser circle, everybody. So we get, oh man, Wedu taking an unfortunate death by the tail of that fire chomp right away here. So we're getting 4-1 with not the best enemy set. You don't really like to see this enemy set, but the nice thing is you kind of like to see this level as a starter, though, because you're always guaranteed to get a couple power-ups here. Those big blocks always give leaf power-ups, so it's a good little piece of info to know. So for that reason alone, I kind of like seeing that stage as the first stage. And once again in race 2, DLP picking up the leaf here in 6F2, speeding his way through it, using the leaf, keeping it by dodging the roto disc there at the end. Very, very expertly, very well done. Wedu here, gonna do the exact same thing. Oh, taking some damage on the thwomp. That's okay. That's okay. That's not a big deal. Honestly, he'll be able to run to the end a little faster as a result of losing it. So, but DLP keeping it here will get the chance of damage boost in this section to keep P-speed through the tower. So this is a pretty significant time save if he's able to keep this for a while. So it sounds like he kept it through this room. It's a little tough to tell. So we're experiencing a few drop frames, but I think that's on his end. Both runners having a little bit of trouble with the internet today, but that's okay. But yeah, able to keep it for most of the tower here, which is nice. So gonna have a pretty good time at the end of this. Wedu did pick the leaf up in the first room, but unfortunately lost it immediately. So not getting eaten by the bass though. That's pretty nice there. There's gonna be no free skips here at the end of World 5. So, but it's a pretty short end. He's only got to play 2 stages. He doesn't have to play it for it. taking some damage from a cheap jumping into him there. Pretty classic for the end of 4-2 there. So a couple World 4 stages here in the first world, which is World 5. Don't get it twisted. So yeah, we got one more stage here before the end, and we have a bit of a route divergence. I think this is a mistake by Wedu. I think he's playing a stage he doesn't have to play. So if he just went the other way, I think he would. I think he's just playing an extra stage. I'll have to look to make sure that that's correct. And yeah, he's playing 2 extra stages here, actually. But he could go for the item in this since he's already in it. Meanwhile, DLP making it through that beta stage that, again, goes right then left with the water section underneath. Again, a pretty tricky one that you don't like to see. And we do get in the clip to the end, so while he played the 2 extra stages, at least he did it with swag. Unfortunately, he's going to get the bad news here, but if he notices, the problem is it's one of those things where when you're playing the game, it's a little less obvious than when you're sitting in my spot. It's real easy in my spot for me to be like, yeah, obviously he played 2 extra stages, but sometimes I'll look at the map when I'm playing it, and I swear that lock is on one side of a level when it's on the other side of a level, and then you end up playing 2 extra levels, and then you end up losing, or the race is a lot closer than it should be. And that's just how that goes, you know. Sometimes your eyes play tricks on you, or as I would like to say, you know, that's just the Mandela effect happening in real time. I'm gonna be honest with you, you know, because I don't actually make mistakes. Clearly, the universe has changed the outcome of that arrangement in that world on me. So, because I wouldn't make those mistakes, but you know, I'm saying for like other people, you know. But anyway. Picking up a flower here in the mushroom house. And we get world 2 as the second world. And getting a stage you honestly don't really like to see in Randomizer. He's hoping for a tail here, is not going to get it. He could use that fire flower to damage boost at the beginning, but once you make it that far, you kind of might as well just keep it and do this. Because it's really not going to save you that much time going back and damage boosting. And if you miss it, like, it's just a disaster. So I think technically going back and damage boosting would still be a little bit faster. But, you know, you end up having to then grab another power-up. And I mentioned that at the outset of this the series that, you know, stopping and grabbing power-ups, stopping to have to use inventory all the time does slow you down over the course of a race. The more times you're opening that stuff up, the more times you're slowing down. You know, if your opponent's not doing that, that's more time they're making up on you. You know, that's totally preventable. So, meanwhile, Wedu making his way through the World 6 airship here, got some fire for Roy. And DLP, meanwhile, picking up some fire in 2-4. Gonna make his way, gonna 2-cycle the elevator room here. Gets a good enemy set there. You love to see the dry bones. You don't want to see the rogue hotfoot there. And yeah, doing a great job making his way through 2-4. While we do taking out Roy quickly there. Looked like Roy was a bit of a weakling again, so kind of the theme of the day, the Koopaling's been a little weak, you know? Again, they gotta spend a little bit more time in the gym. You know what I'm saying? Like oh, yeah, he was a little too fast, a little too furious there. And this beta stage, which people tend to call the 1-5 beta stage, but does know the backboard strat. You know, going back in time, doing his best to impersonate, you know, George Mikan there, using the backboard, you know. My dad would love to see people using the glass like that, so well done by DLP. Using this pipe to good effect here, he's going to fight the Hammer Bro. As I mentioned at the outset of this series, the hammers do break locks, and as such, you know, I kind of anticipated we would see a lot of bro fights, especially on DLP side. I feel like he's probably going to fight every bro he can, because he doesn't want his opponent to end up getting a hammer that he doesn't get. And again, Wedu having a star equipped for the fortress here and works out pretty well for him, but unfortunately losing P speed again before that pipe, that flip animation, not allowing him to jump through it once again. Meanwhile, DLP making quick work of the super tank there. Just it's kind of one of those fly through stages. Super tank, Navy, always just very, very quick stages in Randomizer because the auto scrolls are moved. I forgot to mention that, you know, that's kind of bad of me. For those of you that this is your first experience seeing the Mario 3 Randomizer, you might be curious as to what is randomized. The short answer to that is a lot of things. So the arrangement of the levels, the world order, the airships at the end of the worlds, the power-ups within the power-up blocks, the enemy sets within the levels themselves, the peach letter items that they give you, the Hammer Bro fights and the tiles that assign those Hammer Bro fights, the items that the fights give you, the items that the piranha plants give you, the items that the hand levels give you. And I probably missed some things, but yeah, all that stuff is randomized. So a lot of things, I guess, is the short of it. Oh, the HP of the end world bosses. We do having some trouble here at the end of this stage. I think, again, I've noticed him struggle a little bit with the beta levels, and I know I don't think he has a ton of randomizer experience yet, so you know, this is something that, unfortunately, until you play some of these stages, you just have trouble with them. So, meanwhile, DLP making his way through 2-4. Avoiding the Sledge Bro there, the one at the end that tends to troll you. Has a pretty good power-up for this stage. I really like the tail. I like the tail in general for Randomizer. I think I'm kind of in the minority opinion on that, but I think it's kind of just the best item. For the reason we saw there, it really allowed him to just fly over that stage and skip a lot of trash. And that's really, I think that's really important in Randomizer, because a lot of stuff you just don't know what you're getting. So currently DLP's ahead, so the left side is ahead. Going through this stage is small. It's not the toughest stage to do small. It can be a little scary, especially depending on what you get at the end there. Cheap was a little trolly. Does he get the jump? He does not get the jump out of the pipe to save a little bit of time there, but that's okay. That's a frame perfect jump. We forgive him there. But meanwhile, Wedu picking up a P-Wing. Also going to use the pipe, so really good map awareness there again. Just knowing where these skips are. You don't want to play these extra levels. I know he did in the first world as a mistake, but unfortunately drawing a terrible Hammer Bro fight here. And gonna use the Mushroom House to pick up a power-up here in preparation for it. And that's a really good one. Again, I really like the tail. Hammer Bro fights they're really useful for as well. He might get a different fight here, and he does get a different fight. As I said, the bro fights are randomized on the tile, so gonna pick up the 1-up, which is kind of a smart choice. He is running a little low on lives here, so he does have to worry a little bit. Meanwhile, DLP making his way through 3-6. It's like he's listening to me, you know, using the tail again to just fly over trash. Just, you know, he's just like, he's admiring the dumpster as he flies over it. You know what I mean? So, and that's pretty much any of these levels for the most part in Randomizer, because yeah, the enemies just don't allow you to go fast in this in Randomizer. That's what they're there for. They're there to slow you down, and they do it very effectively. Gonna use the star here. Gonna check this pipe. because he doesn't see any pipes on the other side, so this is either going to bring him to the end of the world, which he needs, or it's going to bring him to a place that will bring him to the end. So he's definitely hoping to skip some levels here with this check at the very least, and it does bring him right to the end. So good pipe check there. And this time we're going to get to see some World 4 airship P-speed here that we didn't see in the first race. As I said, you kind of have to do that back and forth there to get it at the beginning. So and having power up for Wendy, this fire flower, allows you to kill her really fast, except she was one hit there, so it didn't matter because you had fire, therefore Wendy is one hit. It's kind of the rules of the randomizer. It's unspoken, but when you go into the boss fights and you have fire, the boss fight's like, oh yeah, I'm just going to be one hit. That's not really how it works, but it kind of feels that way when you're playing it, so... Wedu going into 2-4 here is Small Mario. This is scary. This is very scary. So, okay, all right. Oh no! Oh, he just shorted the jump. Oh man, he was pretty free from that point. Had some power-ups in his inventory, so that's one of the things that you know, as people get better at randomizer, and he'll get better at this too. I think that's one of the main issues I see with a lot of people is they kind of forget to use their power-ups, and you don't want to be going in these levels small. It just, as you can see, even DLP, who is very seasoned at randomizer, takes damage all the time in these stages. Even me, who won the randomizer tournament earlier this year, I take damage all the time in these stages. You just cannot trust the enemies. And, you know, to the extent possible, you always want to have a power-up entering them. Sometimes you don't have a choice. You know, at the beginning of the seed, or sometimes the seed's not very nice at giving power-ups, but, you know, the deaths that you take end up losing a lot of time. And those sort of things just, you know, give more and more time advantage to your opponent. So, you know, these will be things he'll probably figure out as he plays more and watches back. But yeah, that's kind of the difference. And you'll see too, when DLP is small, he pretty much always equips a star or a power up going into a bro fight or a level. You just can't trust him. Meanwhile, making his way through 5-3 here, very well done. Again, 5-3 can be kind of a tricky stage because of it's dual layered, right? And some enemies you get can actually go through the stage. So if you're getting fire chomps, if you're getting paragoombas, they kind of go through the stage. Meanwhile, we get 3F2, not in World 8, kind of rare here. This one's notorious for being in World 8, but it's the sunken fort. Cool thing about this fort is, for those of you that have never speedrun anything in your life, you can probably figure out how to speedrun this fort nearly optimally with, you know, a few minutes of practice, to be honest. You can always do it the same way every time. There's no variance. It's very easy. Even in randomizer, it's the exact same. So Wedu making it to door 6 here in 3F1. So we got 2 World 3 forts on the screen right now. And taking on the Boom Boom. DLP checked that fort first because it was in the route to get to the end of the world. So you always play it first to ensure you play the least number of levels possible. Because it could have been the correct fort. He doesn't know which one's the correct fort to build the bridge. So you always play that one first. Unfortunately for him, it ended up not being the right one. And this gets a little scary, and very nice jump there. Very nice jump. Yeah, that spinner, as we saw in the first race, can be very unkind sometimes. So he did try to go over it, as you can see. As I mentioned in the first race, the strat is to go over it, but he kind of kept shorting his jumps. The P-Wing here is not the power-up he probably wanted for this stage, but it's better than just having a tail on its own. Until you hit a wall like that, of course, but at least allows them to go through it pretty quick. Wedu fighting the Hammer Bro there and picking up a Fire Flower, which will be nice for him as he continues to move his way through the seed. That is the correct pipe, as you do recall, to the end of the world here at 3. But he did want to stop and fight the Hammer Bro. Again, I think it's a good decision for the seed type. You don't want to miss out on a hammer. That allows you to skip a lot of stages. So we're going to see DLP again. He's probably going to fight the other, or fight the Hammer Bro in addition to this coin chip. He does, for going back, you know, he does get a hammer there. So it's pretty good. And yeah, it walks right to him. So he's just going to, you know, take it and gets the double Fire Bro there. The hitbox actually worked on the second Fire Bro for once, so good luck there. Meanwhile, we get the World 1 airship, and the tail's actually really nice here because it allows you to take this top route and just fly right into this pipe very quickly. You can actually get an off-screen wand grab here if you enter with P-Speed, if it's a one-hitter, but unfortunately, it was a two-hitter, so... but yeah, making his way to the second half of the game here. Again, not the fastest seed we got going here. You know, halfway through the game, and it's over 18.5 minutes on DLP's side. So again, you know, I mentioned normally these seed types are a bit quicker, but they just haven't been getting many level skips in the name of, you know, hammer opportunities, clouds, you know, the items themselves, and just the world configurations have all kind of been a bit trolly. But we will have a pretty good hammer opportunity here in World 6, it looks like. It always feels good when you have a hammer in your inventory and you just see a bunch of stages at the beginning, because that usually means that that pipe you hammer to is pretty good. So Wedu taking out Wendy there. She was a one-hitter again. As you saw, he was trying to fire kill her, but he ended up stomping her and realizing the bad news, unfortunately, that he wasted time using fireballs, but that's okay. Oh boy. Getting a Hammer Bro marathon here. A movement of a lot of numbers. I'm not sure exactly what that movement was, but definitely a pretty big one. Was hoping to get the star there, so unfortunately he hit it on the right side of the block versus the left, which then caused the star to come out on the left, or going to the left. That's a little weird piece of SMB3 lore that maybe some people don't realize, especially if you've only played like Mario 1, for instance, where it always comes out and goes right. So, gonna check the pipe here first. See where it takes him. Right to the end. Right to the end of the world. So, you love to see it. Very fast World 6 here, so we're getting back on track in terms of time. Meanwhile, we do a little bit of frame drops here in 4.6, it looks like. He seems to be making his way through. Oh, man. Oh, no! Oh, he needed 2 more fireballs, but it was only a 2-hit Lemmy. But getting the classic Lemmy fight there. Just almost got him. Don't got him. Get bounced around everywhere. Lose your fire. Now, the real classic would have been a 5-hitter. Looking like Wedu's gonna make it out of 4.6 here. But did take a couple sets of damage there, unfortunately. But he's kind of dragging his way through here. Starting to experience a little bit of frame drops on his end. So, meanwhile, we are in World 6, which is World 7. DLP had a choice there. He had 2 pipe checks he could have done, or he could choose to play this fort. I think it's the right decision to just play the fort off the bat. Now, it's a little bit of a tougher decision in the seed type because he does have a hammer. So, potentially he could have just hammered if it's only a lock between him and the end of the world. Which he'll probably do anyway if there's still a lock there, but But yeah, it's a hard decision. I tend to go with this decision as well. Especially when you don't see any obstacles, so you know there's definitely some stuff going on at the end of the world there. Because you see 2 forts, you don't see a lock. It's usually, and it's actually 3 forts. So again, we don't see any obstacles in the way here on these islands. So that means there's going to be either 2 locks on the last island, or there's going to be a lock and a bridge. And it is 2 locks, so he's gonna music box, hammer, and then make his way out of this world. So, yeah, I'm very curious if that fort built that bridge, because we didn't see anything happen on the first screen he was on. So, theoretically, he could have done exactly the right thing here. Meanwhile, Wedu having, again, the frame drops, making his way through 5-3 here. Just very slowly. Not really sure what's going on there. Dodging a bunch of fireballs, it looks like, at the end of the stage. So, meanwhile, DLP taking out Ludwig with two hits there. And gonna make his way to World 7, which I think will be World 1? Is that right? I think it is World 1. So, if I'm recalling things correctly, nice job on Wedu's side making out of that 5-3. Looks like he was kind of trapped between a lot of fireballs, so... And sure enough, I'm always right. So he's going to play the fort at the bottom first, since it's in the route. And hope it breaks the lock. It's looking good here because, as I mentioned, we haven't... no, we did see 1 fort. 1 fort was actually in World 5, so it's a 50-50 here. He hasn't seen 1 fort, though, so if I was in his shoes, I would assume that the other fort's probably 1 fort and that I picked the right one, but it's not really a choice here. You have to play this level anyway, so you just play it first. And, you know, gets the bad news. Not a big deal. Doesn't lose anything for it. I guess a couple overworld movements at the end of the day. And getting 4F1 here, which is one of the trickier forts to navigate. As you can see, all these little tight corridors packed with enemies and thwomps and enemies that go the wrong direction in Randomizer. Can be a little tricky, but well done on his side making it through. Didn't take any deaths. Picked up the power up at the end, so you know, gave one up and got it back. He was checking the anchor there to see if it was a cloud. The anchor is a random item, so the only thing it can't be is a hammer. So it looks like it's a leaf for this seed. So anytime you see the anchor, it'll be a leaf for this particular seed. But yeah, it's a heads-up play, just checking it to see, because it could be a cloud. I mean, it's a 1 in, I think it's a 1 in 9. My math's correctly, because we're removing the hammer. Or no, it could be a 1 in 8. So I think I'm including, I think it's a 1 in 8. So I think I was including the anchor. But at any rate, thankfully, again, you know, going into these with power-ups, because that double fire bro fight, it's real tricky when you go into there small. So kind of been the theme here for him, just always making sure he's got power-ups going into these stages. You know, he checks that block for this. He was looking for this power-up in particular because he doesn't have a fire flower for Bowser, so he's gonna want to keep this if possible, of course. It might not be possible depending on what levels he gets, and you know, it's always hard not to take damage. But yeah, he's gonna want to try to keep this power up through Bowser. Meanwhile, Wedu making his way through, I believe this was 3F2, so I'm not sure where he actually is in real time, because as you can see, he's gotten further and further behind on the stream, but I think DLP did have a couple minute lead on him. It was about a world, so does have a cloud there. Does he have 2 clouds? Oh, I see. I see what he did. Okay, that actually makes sense. That actually makes some sense there, yeah. He was able to check that level and just take the intentional death. It looks like he does have a fire flower in his inventory, so he is set up for Bowser. I think I missed that. He must have got that towards the end of that last world. So yeah, it was pretty heads-up play, because he could take the intentional death and know that, hey, the other tank's the correct one. I never have to go back to the screen. And in fact, the path's entirely linear, so yeah, he's gonna have to just play the first 4 DCs. He's kind of in a weird spot here, though. I'll be interested to see what he decides to do. These are 3 fortresses, so does he play all 3? Does he play each one, then go back and check? I'm not really sure what decision he's going to make here. But almost certainly one of these builds the bridge. You know, it's a 75% chance that he'll build the bridge after playing these. So he is actually going to go back and check. And all right, that lock's still there as well. It's looking good. It's looking good for him here. Oh man, it broke another lock on the dark area screen that we weren't able to see. So he's this is the worst part. It's almost better not to know in this situation for this reason sometimes, because you just can't like not go back and check, you know? So you don't want to play extra stages. So but then maybe your opponent's Giga Brain and like doesn't go back and check and then saves a bunch of pipe transitions, and then that's the difference in the match. But yeah, it's he's hoping again that he doesn't see anything break on this screen. He'll definitely check after this one if he doesn't see anything break here, because it's just this lock, the one other lock. Okay, so he knows he's got to play this fort. Not a big deal. Really great power-up usage there, realizing he hasn't played this stage yet. So you could see he kept using tails for this reason. Compare that to how long that took him in the first race, and you know, obviously a gigantic time save there. And let's see here. So unless he's really unlucky here, this should be it. Do we see a lock? We see the lock, so we know that the bridge has been built, and making his way to the castle to take the series here in Game 2 and move on to the quarterfinals of this tournament. So this tournament is single elimination, so just as an FYI. So unfortunately, we're about a minute away from Wedu being eliminated. It looks like his stream has caught up. He is about 2 worlds behind, world and a half or so. He must have not had the hammer that DLP had. The place where he got the hammer was at the end of World 4, so if he didn't fight the coin ship, then he didn't get the hammer. That was a pretty big time save. Having some trouble there at the end of that stage, taking an unfortunate death. Meanwhile, DLP putting 35 fireballs in the Bowser. And get your GGs out for DLP, winning this series 2-0. All right. And Wedu did say he was going to finish this one out. He did just split in World 7. We're getting some dog action on DLP side. Oh my dog. The Hacks Yoshi. You know, it's always good to get some victory pats in with the pup, as we can see there. And meanwhile, I believe I have been joined now by DLP316, the winner of our first round match here. How's it going? Oh, you're muted, by the way, in case you didn't know. All right, he'll figure that stuff out. But meanwhile, Wedu making his way through the World 7 airship here. Which is at the end of World 6, so we've caught up on the stream. And yeah, gonna see what our boy Ludwig has in store for us. 1, 2 hits, 2 hits. Oh, right, I think you're unmuted now. Yes. How's it going?
Hey, Actor, what's up? Not much.
Not a whole lot. So, yeah, I kind of talked about it throughout, but you didn't really get too short of seeds, although the second seed kind of picked up in the second half, but you had like almost 21-minute first half in the first seed, and then it was like 18.5 in the second. What were your thoughts on that? It just seemed like you weren't getting many skips, I guess, in terms of levels, and you definitely weren't getting hammers or clouds, so...
Yeah, thoughts during the first seed, at least, was that it was long after the fourth world, like you said. Wasn't really getting power-ups, getting a lot of stars. I had, like, no inventory. And then I was also getting... There's some levels that was just getting trolled a little bit, like, for instance, in World 6, like, the first level I played was 5-9, so I had to die on that, get rid of all my power-ups. Went into 7F1 with no power-ups and didn't really have a way to do that faster. So it's just like I would skip something into something else and it would be a level that wasn't great. Like I know I found 6-6 on in World 5 in the first seed, and then 7-2 with no power-ups. So it was just like, I'm just going to see what I get from the Toad House, and if it's a tail, I'm just going to cloud it because I'm not dealing with this clip with the tail. So... little trolly, but not too bad.
Yeah, it was kind of weird. You both ended up in a lot of the same situations where you both went into 5-9, so you both took the death. You both went in the 7-6, while he actually went in with a tail, and you only had a tail that you could go in with, so he actually ended up clipping it, but in your case, you just skipped it because you're like, nah, I'm not doing this, I'm sorry. But the nice thing you did there is you did equip a power-up before going into the bro fight, because I think you got that stupid vanilla bro that hides in the sand block. So if you hadn't done that, that would have been rough.
Yeah. Yep, that bro is always fun. I mean, if you don't have a star, you gotta really wait, otherwise you're pretty much screwed, but... yeah, thankfully it was like, I'm not going back and trying to clip this level with a tail. I have a hard enough time with this as it is.
Yeah, I think the biggest issue you had, maybe in the 2 Cs, was just that death at the end of 6-6 where you slowed down a little too much for the cheap. And then you're like, nah, I'm not going to play this again.
Yeah, that was I was thinking about just dying and skipping it, but normally when I see 6-6, I'll give it one shot. Sometimes, you know, it's not horrible. You can just get right through it and save the cloud. But I probably should have just clouded it right away. But yeah, I didn't take my time at the end, and unfortunately jumped right into that cheap.
Yeah, that's kind of a tough one to make that decision in because you're already in it, and sometimes it's not too bad and you just make it through really fast, and then other times you get like 15 bloopers.
Right.
And, it takes an eternity, so I think I just started skipping it for that reason, because I'm like, you know what, I'm not even going to chance it.
Yeah, I should do that, especially since it takes a minute to get into the level and actually die, but I saw the fire flower and I was like, well, this should make it easy, and then I got hit, so it was like, well, I'm just doing it now. At this point, I'm in it. Might as well.
Yeah, I guess the other problem you had there too is you had a level immediately after it, and like, what if it's Atlantis? So you just cloud into Atlantis, and then
Right.
That's
happens more often than I'd like to admit.
Yep, exactly. So yeah, I totally got the wavelength there. I was like, yeah, he doesn't want to cloud it because like he just could cloud into something terrible. So
yeah,
play it anyway. Yeah.
I've been clouding into or just using a P-Wing into 7-1 like a lot. So I was a little worried about that. Happened in my tournament race against Macobra, and then I know it's happened a couple times in like the weeklies, and that just like completely screwed me over. So a little nervous about that, but it's not going to happen that often, right?
Yeah, it shouldn't really happen that often, but yeah, it's kind of good to take your time, I guess, and use a power up that, you know, isn't a P-Wing. Like if you have another tail, that's kind of what I started being cognizant of, is like, okay, if this isn't a fortress or an airship, try to just save the P-Wings for those, because I can't get screwed over, right?
Yeah, it's smart. Yep.
Meanwhile, we are joined by Wedu. How's it going, man? How did the second race there treat you at the end? I know you had some things to say in the race chat for a second, so curious where your thoughts were. Oh, we cannot hear you. I don't know if you can hear us at all. Nope. He's back. All right. I'll just wait for him to start talking, but yeah, you kind of got trolled at the end of the second seed too, right? You got the I thought it was a really good play for you to cloud and check that that tank tile, so then you just knew you never had to go back to that screen. So that was kind of good.
Yeah, it's like, I mean, how many opportunities am I going to have to use this cloud? So I might as well just use it. If I got to play it, then I'll play the level. If not, it's a free check to see if it's a fort. So I figured that was probably the best way to utilize the cloud, just given a level stage right off the bat.
Yeah, definitely. And then you kind of got trolled because it went to the valley immediately, and then you get a lineup of 3 forts. And yeah, the first fort obviously didn't break anything that you saw. So you're like, okay, I just keep checking. And I kind of figured you would go back and check each one. It's a tough decision when you see that lineup, because you don't want to do all those pipe transitions, but sometimes you have to.
Yeah, it's usually something that I find...
No, my mic is broken.
Oh.
Yeah, can you
I think we were able to hear you. Yes. Welcome.
Oh, nice. Thanks. Yeah. The race was not that good, but I got my PB on rando, and I did not have time to practice, so I went like cold.
Oh, sure. Yeah, I kind of thought you don't have a ton of randomizer experience. I saw you struggle a bit with some of the randomizer specific levels in particular, because you'd probably never seen them.
Yeah, I have 21 tries in rando, so.
Okay, that's fair. Yeah. Like the 1.6 beta, also the the dual layer level with the pipes that you usually get a boss pass in that you have to go down the first pipe. You remember you spawn the pipe at the beginning. I know you're confused at how to beat that one. So
I have been beating all of the levels, but I have like 3 or 4 finished runs. It was not like a new level for me. Like I was looking through the levels. I don't remember when, but sorry, my language, it's not working right now.
Oh, that's okay. Yeah, I know both of you you got off the rough starts in the first seed. It was a little tougher for Wedu because he got a game over, unfortunately, on the first attempt. Yeah, but the second attempt you were able to stockpile some lives with the fanfares, so I think that was the only game over. So second seed was obviously much cleaner.
It was.
But yeah.
I was impressed of that second seed start 1F clip what I did.
Oh yeah. That's right.
I was going for the memes, but I got it.
Yeah, he got the wall jump in 6-9 because he entered it small.
I think so.
Yeah, I think it was third try. I saw you go for it too. Were you trying to do the big Mario style? Because I saw you do the block rub.
Yeah, I did your try to do your strap, but I haven't practiced that in a long time, so I was just like, I'll give it one shot and see how it goes.
Yeah, it looked pretty good. I think the only thing the only mistake you made is you didn't full jump to the wall. And that was the only thing, because I think you hit the wall lower than you should have. I don't know if that actually, because you only have to hit a section between blocks to be able to wall jump. So as long as you do that, that's the key. And the window's bigger than it looks. But the thing is, I don't know if that affects your subpixel or not. So that'd be the interesting thing. So yeah, you just need to full jump there. But that was cool to see. I'm glad that someone's paying attention to that, because that's free. That's a free attempt, and it works as Big Mario. So
right, yeah, I was a little more consistent with it back, probably during the last SGLIVE when I was practicing a lot more. But like you said, I mean, it's a free attempt, so might as well go for the free 30-second time save or whatever it is.
Yep.
As far as the World 8 and the second seed, just to go back to what we were talking about. Yeah, I saw the lock, so I was like, well, I'm going to play the first fort. If it doesn't break this lock, I'll check. But yeah, I find more often than not, when I just go back and check, it usually doesn't work for me. So thankfully I had 2 locks that I could get an indication of if I had to play more or not. So
yeah,
that was nice.
But in I think so it was World 7. I get pretty lucky with do you name the plant thing? I got hammer from that, and then I break the lock.
Oh, okay.
I didn't have hammer. I think so my stream it lagged.
Yeah, so that was the interesting thing that happened. So DLP got a hammer. There was a coin ship at the end of World 4 that had a hammer.
Oh,
and you didn't have it. Yeah.
I didn't even want to play that too.
I know. I mentioned that. I'm like, well, he's like, yeah, he got it for his efforts. And then the other bro came to you. You're like, well, I'll fight that one too. Why not?
Yeah, I think I only got 2 hammer usages in the both seeds, and both of them were in World 7, which they were good hammer place to use it, but would have liked to see a few more. But rando.
But yeah, I missed you using the hammer at the end of World 7 Wedu, because I think the stream had a little bit of frame drops then, but that's nice, because there were 3 forts there, and it was looking like a nightmare otherwise. So
I did it. I got the level pretty quick. I was on luck base in World 7. I played 1 fort and I got it.
Yeah, you both pretty much did the same thing there. He played 1 fort, went to the end, slept the box, hammered, and was out. So With all of that being said, do either of you have any final thoughts here? I know Wedu, unfortunately, will be going home from this one. DLP moves on, but we'll start with Wedu. Any final thoughts here on your first performance in the tournament?
It was fun. I can say that.
Yeah, definitely. Look forward to seeing you race more. Hope you join these more. Randomizer, it takes a bit to learn. There's a lot of intricacies, but can be very fun, especially in these tournaments. And moving on to DLP, I'm not sure if you know who your opponent is. I haven't looked at the bracket, but you probably know.
I play the winner of Japizu Mustard, their third race. So
okay, that's good info because I'm doing comms there.
Yeah. Only thoughts. Just thanks for the commentary, Haxor and SpeedGaming for hosting, and whoever's organizing, appreciate it. No Haxor, no Mitch, no Macobra, so tournament's pretty much wide open. So I mean, anybody can win at this point. Just looking forward to the next one.
Yeah, that's a good point. Obviously we'll know your opponent after today, and that race should be in about 2.5 hours. It looks like. No, yes, 2.5 hours. So we'll know your opponent then, and as I mentioned, this tournament kind of goes fast and furious too. So we'll be seeing a lot of races over the next few days. So if you really like Randomizer, I do encourage you to keep track of the schedule. It is being posted in chat by the bot, and I will post it again. I want to thank both of you for putting on a great performance today. It's much appreciated. And, good luck to DLP for the rest of the tournament. I know your next match is going to be tough. Both those racers are good. Japizu winning the Challenge Cup. So obviously, that's a bracket caliber player. And then Human Mustard is, always one of the better players in the field. So with that being said, I'm going to let everybody go. Hope y'all have a good rest of your day. And check out, again, that next race will be in 2.5 hours on SpeedGaming 2. And please follow these runners.
All right. Later.